In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up MIM for servers, namely MiM-upstream. If you check the website, then there's a button here for servers. And the first thing you'll do is you'll have to install the prerequisites for your operating system. Here's an example Ubuntu, but if you had a Mac, that, for example, like I'm running on now, then you would install Homebrew and then run these commands thereafter and wait for the installation to complete. Since I've already done that step, then we can go ahead and copy paste this command in the terminal, like so. You can add a directory switch to specify a directory you want to install in. We can also do a -d instead of directory. Normally the default directory is MiM-upstream, but let's take the street for example. Press enter and then we'll have to wait for it to install. Please be patient because the installer can take several minutes to complete. When the installation is finished, then you can go into the directory that you specified. In my case it was the street. And you can run this MiM-upstream script. You can add a version switch and then it'll tell you which version that you're running. If you then just run the script without a switch, then it will create a default properties file for you. There's a few different ways we can run MIM. The first we'll discuss is where the MiM-upstream component is running on the same host as the Minecraft server. So address here is the address where the MIM component will be listening on. This will be the first available network interface here, and then the port will be 4999. Aliases will be a list of names that the MIM component responds to when users are creating portals. If you could put your external IP address here and also your domain name. Say for example thestreet.world, and for example the IP address 228.160.202, and then here you could put the address of the server. You could actually put the street.world, but you can more easily refer to it just as localhost. And then here you can add the street.world, and this is the name that is passed to the Minecraft server when doing a handshake on Connect. So we'll save that and quit. Then we'll go ahead and run the MiM-upstream component. And we'll go ahead and start the server. To test the installation, we also have a downstream component already installed. And as landing address, we will put in the address of where the component is running. Right now I'm running on localhost, so I'll just put localhost here. And that can be started as well. In the meanwhile, we'll start the Minecraft client. And you should have a link to the Minecraft metaverse as per the instructions for MIM for the downstream component. You can go ahead and log in. Well, we've arrived. So let's say that the Minecraft server is running on a different host than where the MiM-upstream component is running. In that case, we would be running the component on the available interface, network interface, at port 49999. The alias that would respond to would still be the street, for example, and its IP address. And we would then specify the address to be the domain name of that world and the standard Minecraft port. So we can go ahead and save and quit, and then we run the MiM-upstream component. While that is booting, we can start ourselves a downstream component to test. So we can run MiM-downstream, and this time we're going to say the landing address. This is going to be the address of where the MIM component is running. So that would be here on my local machine. Once that's started, then we can go ahead and go to Minecraft and log in. The last scenario that I'm going to discuss is where MiM-upstream is running on a server online, and we're going to be connecting to a public server that is not ours. So MIM can connect to the available net address that it finds, net interface that it finds. It can be on the standard port. We're going to say as aliases, we're going to actually give as alias Hypixel and perhaps its IP address. That means users can create portals via the IP address and also via the domain name. Then to make it interesting, I could just put Hypixel here and not specify the name. To make it interesting, I'll put actually the IP address of Hypixel. And then I'll put the server name here. If I were to leave this out, then you would not be able to connect, because you cannot connect to Hypixel via the IP address, so you have to specify the name here in order so you can connect to them. If we quit and save, then we can run the MIM component. While that's loading, I can then start a local downstream component, and as a landing address, I'm going to specify the domain name of where I'm running my MIM component. And the port is the standard, so we're going to leave that. Let's see how they're booting. That's ready. Now we wait for this to boot, and then we can actually start Minecraft. So now you can see that we have Hypixel's server icon here instead of the streets icon. And so if we log in, we should end up at Hypixel instead of the street. There we are.